I love that song just as much today as I did the day it came out. Leon Bridges on Magic 24, away from 9 o'clock. Mike Barrett in for good policies on this chilly morning. How you doing, buddy?
Sick of winter. I'm not even going to say I'm good. I'm sick of winter. Not going to lie.
It's no longer on the calendar than it ever will be, but the snow's been around since November. So.
Yeah. I want that warm up. Where's at least tease us?
Well, we did. We had a couple of 35-degree days.
Ooh. Yeah, whatever.
Compared to what it's going to be tomorrow, celebrate, okay?
True.
You had a little fun coming in this morning, huh?
A little squirrely coming in. So I come in on 91 northbound here into Lindenville exit 23. And of course, you got that grade that comes down, and you got to merge right and get off the exit there. Icy. Careful there. If you're driving. My truck said, nope, we're not stopping here. And so I got a little squirrely. And my adrenaline's calmed down, which is good. You never want to be the insurance agent getting in a car accident.
So in other words, your road report this morning is if you're getting off 91 northbound in Lindenville, slow down way before the off-ramp.
Yeah, it's a very slick all the way down to the stop sign.
All right, I got a question for you here since we talk insurance policies in the complex world of insurances. I, at times in the past, have been without a vehicle, but yet had to move around. Mm-hmm. And my dad let me borrow his car.
Sure.
It was just a one-day thing. But I know many people out there that have at times had their car in the shop for an extended period of time, had an accident, leading into insurance here.
Yeah, I'm with you.
My question is this. How does that work out? Say mom or dad or somebody lends you their car for any period of time, and you're driving it and something happens.
Right. So the good thing to think about is that insurance follows the vehicle. So that's a good thing. So if your folks are letting you borrow their vehicle, because you need one temporarily, that's fine. And, I'm not aware of any real window of, okay, well, here's the guideline of acceptability. And I'll throw it to the homeowners real quick. There are some homeowners insurance companies that say, look, we'll allow you to have a homeowners insurance policy for your house if it's your residence, even if you rent it for like up to 4 weeks a year. All right. There's nothing that I'm familiar with on the auto side that says, look, you can have an auto policy, but you can't lend it to somebody for more than blah, blah, blah. So that's fine. And that's very common practice to have a borrowed vehicle. And any loss that occurs during you driving that vehicle will go to the vehicle's insurance policy.
Okay, so my next question, I know you're going to come back to where you started off here.
Sure.
Let's say mom and dad buy Junior a car. Okay? The car's registered in his name.
In his name.
Okay. And titled in his name.
Okay. Some insurance companies will let you have that on mom and dad's policy.
They will,
from my experience, yeah.
So the insurance policy doesn't have to be on the registered owner? Or?
It should be. And that's kind of the school of thought that I go with, but I am aware of some companies that say, look, if Junior is a full-time member of the household, that may be something that would be considered. But, especially since Junior could be 16, 17, 18 years of age, anyone licensed less than 3 years, it's a tremendously difficult and expensive process to get insurance. So if you do it right, if you do it the way you think you want to do it and get a good deal, well, that's more power to you. That's wrong, but that's fine. Not fine, but you know what I mean. But what I'm running into a lot lately, and I've seen this multiple times, is people who own a vehicle. It is owned in their name, registered in their name. The loan is in their name with whatever financial institution they're through. But yet the vehicle is full-time possession of somebody else. The vehicle is supposedly insured by that somebody else. So it's their vehicle to have, drive it, and do everything with. Boy, that's just not good. Not good at all. So vehicle really should be insured with the person or by the person who has their name all over it. And here's why. Insurance follows the vehicle. So let's say that person has decided to let their insurance lapse. The person who is driving this vehicle on a full-time, full possession basis, and they, for any number of reasons, just let their insurance go. They get into an accident, no matter how horrific, could be. Let's say there's severe hundreds of thousands of bodily injury involved to another party, a third party. Well, guess what's going to happen? Insurance follows the vehicle. Who owns that vehicle? That's going to follow too. So if your name is all over this and this vehicle is now the responsibility or has caused all this injury and loss to somebody, you're going to be liable. And how are you going to be protected? You're not, because that vehicle doesn't have insurance. And it's not going to go after your policy because your policy doesn't list that vehicle. So you really could be exposed. And that's not a good thing to have. So you want to make sure you're taking care of that. Now, let's say you did help somebody get a vehicle. Make sure you're listed as an additional insured. That way you are fully aware of policy lapses or cancellations or coverage for that matter. You know, I mean, if you have assets to protect, you don't want that party having liability-only vehicle or low liability limits. You want to make sure it's appropriate. Now, I still don't advise that be the case. If somebody's going to be a full-time operator of a vehicle, they really should have it in their name. That's really best practice.
Okay, so if Grandma Till, okay,
she's a very sweet lady. Her cookies are awesome.
Well, she is,
Yeah.
and that's why we'll use Will. Okay,
Will's Grandma
has
Till
moved in to take care of aging Grandma Till. Okay, she has a car. Obviously, low mileage. She doesn't drive around a lot. Okay. If she wants to give that to him to drive around.
If she has an auto policy, one of the things that we would advise, especially if Will does not have his own auto insurance, would be that you just add Will as a driver, because now he's a household member with full unaltered access to that vehicle. So just list Will as a vehicle operator. Now, here's the thing. Let's say Will, as good of a boy he is to his grandmother, has some infractions.
I was going to say, has a bad driving record. Okay.
That can be a problem,
Okay.
you know, but that's also going to lead to why companies want to know about that. If you have somebody driving that vehicle, you know, we call it getting rates, and it applies to all forms of insurance, you know, life insurance, home insurance, auto insurance. Getting rate is, the way I will explain it is that it's getting the appropriate cost to insure the risk. So somebody with a perfect driving record that's firing on all cylinders and really a good risk compared to somebody who likes to speed or has a couple of accidents or has a DUI, you know, there's going to be a vast difference in price. So that's why companies are going to want to be aware, because if Will, who a good boy for grandma, bad driver, you know, high probability that he's going to wreck grandma's car, you know, so grandma's going to have to dip into her till to fix that car. But
So
you need to make sure you're appropriately representing the risk.
Put them on as an additional driver.
Yeah.
The insurance company will research that driving record.
Yeah, oh yeah. Motor vehicle reports are very easy to come by, and there's a little thing called CLUE. And CLUE is an acronym. CLUE stands for Comprehensive Loss Underwriting Exchange. And it's really available on everybody. And essentially, it's a central database of claims. So if you've had claims and I pull a CLUE report on you, which is part of the process of getting automobile insurance, whether it be commercial auto or personal auto, we're going to see those losses within the last 3 to 5 years or more.
All right. We won't beat this other driver thing to death, but here's just one more scenario.
Sure.
Okay. So Lisa has a 1987 Chevy with 247,000 miles on it, a blown-out wheel bearing, and the rear strut is just blah, 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 going down the road.
Yep.
But she has to get to Connecticut. Okay?
All right.
Dad lends her the car.
Yep. That's okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So for the trip down and back, if something happens, Dad's
insurance.
Okay.
It's Dad's insurance. So
See,
Dad needs to be aware of that.
Trying to cover all the, the possible scenarios.
We've had folks who, for any number of reasons, a vehicle gets involved in an accident in a very similar situation to what you're explaining, where maybe they drove out of state for something and they didn't have a dependable vehicle. And that happens. What really comes down to is companies wanting to make sure they know their risk. So if it's discovered that an accident has occurred and now we find out that so-and-so has had full-time access to that vehicle, there could be issues there. Material misrepresentation is a big thing. And if you're not revealing to companies your risk, you could be kind of on that little fence of whether this is covered or not, because were you really compliant or complicit to this process? It's something you don't want to play with. So if you're looking for ultimate protection, thoroughness and honesty is the way to go.
That's right. And as with Good Policies conversations every Tuesday morning, this brings us right back to having the conversation with your insurance agent.
Right. And am I going to tell you that a claim would be denied definitively because of something like that? Probably not. Is that something that you want to test the waters on? Probably not.
All right. So get in touch with your insurance agency.
Yeah, give us a call, 748-5224. We're located on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury, online at thebarrettagency.com, Google, Facebook, and YouTube, all Barrett Insurance Agency.
Great chat this morning. Wonderful information.
Appreciate it. Wish me luck getting out of town on 91.
Yeah, hopefully the on-ramp is better than the off-ramp.
I'll find out in a minute.
Good Policies, Magic in the Morning. David Guetta and C.